Hey Virgo, welcome to your September 2025 astrology forecast. We have a lot of energy happening in your sign this month. Both the lunar and the solar eclipses involve Virgo. So I think we have a lot to talk about. But to start off, happy Virgo season. We have the sun in Virgo traveling through your first house. So you are literally illuminated this month. There's a lot of light on you. You may even feel a bit special or, just feel the spotlight on you. We also have Venus in Leo moving through your 12th house. So there is this desire to really want to improve the parts of yourself that are hidden. So not the way you look or the way you dress, but maybe the way your mind is working. There's just a desire to expand your consciousness and kind of bring light to what you don't know. So a desire to beautify your mind, your dreams, just the things that are hidden behind closed doors. So it's really not an energy to like impress other people. People can't even see it. So it's just an energy to beautify parts of yourself that only you have access to. So I think that is a beautiful energy. And also, Venus moved into Leo on the 25th, I think, of August. So there is a desire to step out a bit more. Leo is a more extroverted sign versus Venus in Cancer, where you may have felt a lot more homebody. You wanted to put more focus and attention to like your emotional well-being now, whereas you kind of want to step out a bit more and be social and outgoing. So that is one of the changes that happened. Also, right at the beginning of the month on September 1st, we have Saturn traveling back into Pisces, and this energy is really happening in your 8th house. So those related to either like hidden fears or subconscious things that are subconscious that may be holding you back, especially in relationships, issues related to intimacy, maybe even some sort of lack or fears related to financial dependency. So, anything related to shared resources, shared debt probably has been weighing on your mind for the last few months. Now, another perspective on this is with Saturn moving back into a sign, there is a bit of revision and revisiting past issues. So think about what you've been dealing with for the last few months related to the 8th house, shared resources, finances, depending on someone else's money, for example, could be a thing. The last couple of months, I was really looking at Saturn Neptune conjunction as like a gap between what you wish or how you wish things were versus what the reality was. But this month with Saturn back in Pisces, my perspective shifted a little bit. Now I see Saturn and Neptune as kind of an energy where something good happens and you don't necessarily trust it. So it's like disbelief in the good. Something good comes through, maybe an investment worked out and you gain some additional income or some sort of gain in financial resources due to other people like banks, companies, or whatever it is that you have invested in. It could even be relationships. Possibly, maybe if you are in a committed relationship and someone is supporting you financially or putting in more. Although you may have fears surrounding this area, it's also really about just being grateful and accepting the fact that someone is stepping in and contributing or taking care of you. So this is how I'm kind of relating to Saturn and Neptune this month. The next energy that I do want to talk about is Uranus and Pluto trine. Now, because Pluto is on your 6th house or in your 6th house and Uranus is in your 10th house, they are really trying to change your work, right? Not just your career and your public reputation and what you're known as, but also how you manage work tasks on a day-to-day basis. So Pluto in the 6th house is really about transforming the way you show up and deal with your daily tasks. So there's a lot of shifts and changes that's happening related to your daily routines, but mostly related to work involving that 10th house. And Uranus and Pluto are sextile to Neptune. So they're creating this little, like a small triangle with the apex being Neptune, the pointed part of the triangle, right? So what that means is Neptune is really the outlet. So possibly you may need to, there's changes that's happening in your career. Maybe you're starting your own business this month, or maybe you already started and you've been thinking about career shifts like that. And with that Neptune in the 8th house, maybe it's asking you to trust or rely on someone else's financial resources while you go through these major changes of starting a new business or starting something on your own, taking the less traveled path, which is all about that Uranus in the 10th house. So is a lot of energy related to, you know, shifts, changes that's happening at your work, and then having to rely or trust a partner, for example, their support so that you can successfully create these changes. And then we have the first of the eclipse, a lunar eclipse happening on the 7th. And this is when the moon opposes the sun. The moon is in Pisces with the north node. The sun is with the south node in Virgo in your 1st house. So they're creating a powerful axis between your 1st and 7th houses. This is all about me versus them energy. So it's really highlighting something that you need to let go of related to possibly relying on yourself versus needing to rely on and depend and have faith on a partner. Because the 7th house Pisces moon is really that, you know, it's unknown energy, but it is what you're supposed to shift towards. So this North Node moon together in Pisces is really urging you to have blind faith in your relationship. Or if you're not in a relationship, what a relationship could be. It's really trying to kind of put back that faith related to love and relationships back into you by having you let go of a tendency to be self-reliant. So that is what I really get for the lunar eclipse. This is a full moon, so technically things are coming to culmination. So maybe till then you have experiences that make you come to that sort of conclusion where, hey, you know, I can trust other people and I don't necessarily know all the answers, or I'm not the only one that has the right answer. So it's just really letting go of what you know to be true versus placing your faith on someone else. Because, you know, Virgo is a very practical but also critical, discerning sign. So sometimes it is difficult for us to kind of let go of our preconceived notions, perceptions, what we think, what we think is the best, and then just placing our faith in our loved ones. Then we have the second of the eclipse on the 21st, and this is happening at the last degree of Virgo. So 29 degrees of Virgo is where the sun and the moon are meeting up. This is planting new seeds. It is a new moon, so it is all about planting new seeds, getting ready to make changes for the future. And because the eclipse just means that like the sun and moon are near the north and the south node, right? So because this is the south node in Virgo, it is really related to sacrifices in releasing our old ways to fit someone else in our life. So I feel like a lot of this month is having to do with modifying or relaxing our set ways to make more room for other people in our life. That's how I'm seeing it. And technically, because they are at the end of a sign, this energy also has to do with the second house, which is ruled by Libra. So the next day, the sun moves into Libra. So the focus is also about personal finances, our financial independence, our financial freedom, sustainability versus shared. So I'm getting a lot of like partnerships and relationship energy for you this month. Obviously, we've had the North Node traveling the seventh house. So many of us probably have been dealing with a lot of relationship things as well. And the next day, on the 22nd, as I said, the energy shifts into money when the sun moves into Libra. And because these energies, oppose that Saturn and Neptune in your 8th house, I just get a lot of opposing energies related to my money versus our money. So I think there's a bit of, faith that needs to be placed, trust in other people. I've already, now I'm just repeating myself, so I should probably just stop. But, just relying less on ourselves to make room for other people. Because sometimes we have to let go of our own ways to work in a partnership with a whole new or another individual. On the same day, the Mars also moves from Libra to Scorpio. Scorpio is a Mars-ruled sign, so it shifts into your 3rd house of communication, siblings, media, local travels. Basically, Mars is all about our ambition, it's our drive, and things just kind of fall into place when Mars moves into Scorpio. The way we move forward, the way we take actions and make decisions just feel a lot more natural, and it's just not as uncomfortable or conflict driven as it was last month when Mars was in Libra. This Mars energy is square to Pluto in Aquarius. So this is a fixed energy. And Scorpio and Mars are kind of similar, especially in modern astrology. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So there is natural communication between the two planets, even though it is a square aspect. So I think there, towards the end of the month, you'll have more energy to kind of transform or make changes in your daily routines or how you work on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's all I have for you, Virgo, for September. Best of luck to you, and I will see you in October.